Show me where.
Okay.
I won't drink that.
Yeah.
Hurry up and drink it.
Huh. Yeah, my arm was pretty achy both times.
Finish it.
All right. Like more so than I guess I haven't had a shot in a while.
Do they have the COVID virus in the vaccine?
Yeah, like it's like a little bit of the COVID virus. Like that's what it is.
I was gonna say maybe it's like the COVID-19 virus in it is like really big and like it's hard to like maybe they need like a bigger needle or something.
My understanding is that they give you a tiny bit of the virus the first time, and then the second shot, and your body by then understands how to fight it, and so it fights it. And so if you're younger, that can involve running a really high fever for a little while. But yeah, now I'm immune, and I just do this, and I don't really care. All right, guys. I bet if we move somewhat quickly, I can give y'all time to do work on homework by the end of class. So let's just kind of get into it. Oh my gosh, I can't wait till I have 5 classes all the time. I'm like so much happier than I normally am, knowing I don't have 9B at the end of the day. Like usually I have 9B at the end of the day. Today I won't. It's great. Okay, that is the homework. Is the page on the board? Yeah, page 196. All right. I cleaned these up a little bit because they were so visually horrible yesterday. But remember, guys, an ablative absolute, Caden, is when you have a participial phrase at the beginning of the sentence. I'm pretty sure they're always at the beginning of the sentence, and it makes it easy to spot. They're always followed by a comma, so they're like 2 to 5 words long, in front of a comma. And you'll see this participial phrase include ablatives specifically. So you'll probably see long vowels or the long is or ibis of first, second, third declension ablative plural. Stop talking over me, please. Okay. And you'll see this with a participial that is, why do I call it participial? We say participial when it's participial phrase, but otherwise it's participle. And you'll see this phrase include a participle, either present active or perfect passive, and the participle itself will be ablative. So it'll also have a long A or O ending, or a long IS or ibis ending. It depends on which kind it is. And you translate it with, since, when, and I told you guys that with, I think, is the best way to do it. Like with the ablative noun having been verb, or with the ablative noun verbing, if it's a present active. So something like Roma visa would be what? Anyone that's from Video Videri? And they're both ablative. That's the big giveaway, especially. So like with what? With Rome having been seen. Yeah. You probably want the having been. Saying with Rome seen, that's really weird. So you probably want with Rome having been seen. You could say since Rome has been seen. That feels longer to me. You could say when Rome was seen. That's actually fine. The sailor found victory. You know, like it doesn't matter what comes after that. It's just going to be like a normal sentence after that. Or so that's one with a perfect passive participle, but it can be present active. And when it's present active, you weirdly might have a direct object. We know present active sometimes have their own direct object, like we saw in that test question, which was the teacher teaching students, and students was like the direct object of the participle grade in teaching. So this, and A is just like him. So like with him, vidente Romam, anyone? So it could be him, or like it could be Cicero, Cicerona in the ablative. With him, vidente Romam, this is the same verb as visa, but now it's present active, Caden. Yeah, with him seeing Rome. Yeah. So just watch out for that. That like in a lot of ablative absolutes, it'll just be ablative participles and ablative nouns. But if it is a present active participle, you might have an accusative in there, and that'll kind of like make it look a little weird or like different, sort of. But yeah, like with him or with Cicero seeing actively the direct object Rome, he or she rejoices. Just made that up. And then the other thing in this chapter is the passive periphrastic. So that is the ablative absolute. The passive periphrastic, though, is when you use the gerundive, aka the future passive participle that we saw all of like 2 times last chapter, with the form of sumesse, and you translate it with must, unless it's future or past tense, which it could be, but probably never will, honestly. But like Carthago Delinda, as would be Carthage must be destroyed. If it was Carthago Delinda erit, future, you would just have to like figure out how to make it future tensey. Like Carthage will have to be destroyed. Will have to be destroyed. Yeah. Sounds weird. If it was Delinda Erat, that'd be like Carthage. I would say just like needed to be destroyed, as in like in the past, was needing to be destroyed. Ugh. It'll almost always be present tense. I can like almost guarantee it. And sometimes not always in these passive periphrastics, which you should just be spotting by seeing something that looks like a verb with the nd and the ending. That's the giveaway in the form of semester. But if you also see a dative in that sentence, no, not this one, sorry, then that is called the dative of agent. Where's my example of that? So that would be like, this book is the sentence must or will have to be read, because it's technically future, by me. So me, he, there would be dative. So just like in sentences with passive verbs, and the verb is happening to the subject, the adverb of agent expresses who is actually doing the verb. The dative of agent will express who actually needs to do the obligated action. Does that kind of make sense? Or are y'all like, that just went over my head, Mr. Cattle? Like, I wasn't even trying to tune you out. I just like didn't understand what that meant. Last example, peace, that's the subject. Let's just pretend this is S and not Erat. Must be sought, and then it's like, must be sought by who? By our leaders. And our leaders there would be not an ablative agent, even though it's like identical to an ablative agent, but technically a dative agent. Yeah, these two things, passive periphrastics and ablative absolute, they will mostly just show up in this chapter and this chapter only. Sadly, I mean, every once in a while they'll pop up in other chapters, but it's kind of one of those things where it's so specific that like you can expect we're going to be seeing one of the two, and pretty much all the sentences we see. And then in chapter 25, we'll move on to different things. I like chapter 25 too. Okay, with the Imperio Acepto, what is Imperium? Do we need to look at the new vocab for this chapter before we get into this? So let's commit to doing a whopping 7 sentences. But if we do said 7, I will then allow for independent time. Spoiler, you guys. Okay, let me make this go away again. What are our new vocab? We have all these dumb words that are like, it's basically I don't know what the stem is, but it's this verb where like the prefix is changing over and over again. But we get Carthage, which is a northwestern African Phoenician colony that was really like if they had been a little more successful, this would be Punic class instead of Latin class, because everyone would be speaking Punic, which is the language that the Carthaginians spoke. Fabulous story, imperator, commander, or literally emperor. Imperium is a thing that an imperator has, authority or like power. Refugium is kind of like refuge. It's a thing that a fugitive would seek, or a refugee would seek. Service or serva is slave. Solacium is solace, like comfort or relief. Vulnus is wound. We can stick re at the beginning of any verb to say you're going to do that verb like again. Ut will not show up too much, but it can mean just as. Postea is the adverb form of post, which means after. And then, yeah, we have accipio, excipio, recipio. Ugh. So accipio can just be literally accept. That's what it looks like, right? So you don't have to overthink it too much, but it can be like accept or receive, which those are synonymous. Excipio, it can be accept, but no one uses that except for adverbially. So maybe translate this as more like receive or take out. Take out? That's weird. Maybe translate excipio as receive or capture. And recipio is to take back, which kind of makes sense, like to retake something. Pello is to strike or drive out. Expello is to literally kind of like banish. Narrow, to tell. Quiro, to ask. Redeo, to laugh. All right, let's get back to it now. So with the Imperio Acepto, anyone, this is an ablative absolute. With the Imperio Acepto. Not leader, so it's the thing that the commander has. So it's yeah, we just say power authority. So with the power or authority, Acepto. So Acepto is from this new verb, accipio, accipera, which means to accept. So with the power to accept. No, so you're either gonna see a perfect. So this is perfect passive. It's not present active. So it's not verbing. It's like having been verbed. Huh? Yeah, with the command having been accepted, okay? It's important that you understand how that works. So, like I'm saying, width is the way to start this. Y'all should look at this and be able to, even though this is the first time you're doing it outside of me like giving you the notes for the chapter, you should just be like, oh, that's probably the ablative absolute that this chapter is mostly about. Because I'm seeing long vowels. I see something that looks like a participle, in this case, a perfect passive one. The having been feels pretty good because just saying with the command accepted, that's okay. It's a little weird. And yeah, start it out with with. Start it out with. With the ablative either having been verb or with the ablative verbing if it's present active. This one, though, is perfect passive. So with the command or authority having been accepted, the dukes. Anyone? What does dukes mean? The leader. And what kind of leader? Iquus we got recently. He's not I'm gonna give it away. He's very even keeled. Very yeah, so it can be kind of equal, but here that would sound weird. We don't want to say the equal leader. So yeah, fair. So it can be level or calm or fair. Or like just. So I think fair is probably good. The fair, and not just the fair, but and not even great either, but magnanimous. Fair. Yeah, the fair, brave-hearted leader. Something about feed him. He ostended. This can mean to display or to show. He displays rather. That's not what he doesn't display that. I feed him to me tripped my accusative direct object spidey senses. So I think that'll be the direct object. He displays not just feed him, but suoff feed him. Semper Fi, always blankful. Yeah. So he shows, and suum is his, her, or its own. Sorry we don't have glossed words, but y'all clearly need to be glossing all the words we are encountering. So everyone get something out. 7 sentences, guys. Let's gloss every single word in these 7 sentences that we don't know. I will gloss them too. I'm gonna fill up because I know I usually gloss. I should probably all the time, but I'm gonna do it with marker. I'm gonna use marker. Sorry, second period, but I'm writing on the board with marker. But y'all should do this too. And it's easy to do, especially when you're watching a video, to have like a dictionary out or notebook. So Dukes' leader, Iquus, is like even or calm. Fides, y'all know what fides means. I know you do. What's it mean? Some people go to church and they have blank. Yeah, it's faith. Okay, feed him. Sounds like y'all need to know suus which means his, her, or its own, depending. And that's obviously the Republic. Ostendo, though, that is a truly horrible word. It means to display or show. It can even mean to extend. Okay, so the fair and brave-hearted leader shows his own faith, rei publicae? Are you thinking genitive? That's a good guess. It does like genitive, right? But let's see. So rei in the fifth declension, y'all remember rei thing is fifth declension. Rei is the genitive of fifth declension, but it's also no. We're looking at the green for fifth declension. It's also dative. So an AE is the same way. AE can be dative or genitive as well. So what if he shows his own faith to the Republic? Yeah. Okay, and I'll click through. I got hot. Yes. Someone turn it down. 3, please. Thank you, Lisa. All right, that's 1. 1 down, guys. Let's do 6 more. We got 30 minutes. So if you spend 4 minutes on all 6, that would be only 24. And we don't even need 4, we need like 3. So you guys are going to at least have 5 to 10 minutes of homework / free time. As long as y'all stay with me. Okay. Showed his own faith to the Republic. Wonder if 9B can like never come back. All right, number 7. Aliquis. Do you remember Aliquis? I almost lost it. My nasty, nasty handwriting. Huh? Close. It's any or some one or thing. It'll be one. It'll be anyone or someone. If it's aliquid, that's when it's something or any one. But this is kind of confusing. So aliquis, some or any one. Aliquid, some or any thing. My beautiful handwriting. I'm forming all of my letters just like they should be formed. So someone, and I see Eos, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my direct object. Let me come back to it. Eos is usually just like, if it's all by itself, it would be them, but sometimes it's going to be like these or those. So anyway, someone, something, 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 something. Where's my verb? Okay, I see a verb at the end. Ooh, I think y'all really need to gloss this. Does anybody know eubeo? Probably not, right? That's fine, actually. I don't blame you for that one. EUC. Guys, look, I'm bad lab teacher. I'm going to leave out the 4th principal part. I don't feel like writing. I can't remember them. But this means to command. I wonder when y'all got that. It had to be pretty recently. And please let me know if you want me to clarify what this chicken scratch is saying. But so someone, not commands, but you say rot. It's one of the perfect tenses, but which perfect tense, Sadie or Sarah? If it's a you say rot, is it perfect, pluperfect, or future verb? The ERA. Remember what these things even mean. Perfect means complete, pluperfect means more than complete, future perfect. Yeah, it's pluperfect. So ERA, pluperfect, you use a helping verb, anyone had. Very important that y'all somehow find a way to remember that. The ERA at the end of a verb, pluperfect, and the final piece of information is that the helping verb you need to use is had. So anyway, someone had commanded, postdatus means like after, afterwards, someone had commanded, and this will sometimes take a direct object and an infinitive, meaning like commanded a direct object to verb. So had commanded, what's a direct object, anyone? Is it eos quinqua equos? So this might just be redundant, kind of demonstrative, these are those. I commanded these are those quinqua equos. How many equoses?
5.
Yeah, I commanded these are those 5 horses. And this, so eripera means to snatch or rescue. And this is our passive infinitive. So it's not to snatch, but I commanded those 5 horses to be snatched ex igno. From the fire. From the fire. Thank God someone saved those 5 horses. Thank God. But this is a passive infinitive, guys. When you see something that looks like it could be an infinitive, but it's in an I instead of an E, probably just a passive infinitive. So not like to verb, but to be verb. Okay, 2 down, 5 to go. Kernus. What does Kernus mean? Tammy? Very good. Yeah, that's to discern. And who's discerning here? Tammy or Avery? If it's Kernus, I, you, or it. Don't overthink it. Remember that Ned just means question. You must be misunderstanding me a little bit. Was it first, second, or third person, Avery? Yeah, so it's who discerns something? Yeah. And so it's a question, though. So how can we start it out? We don't want to say you discern something? Lucy? Very good. Yeah. Do you, yeah. Huh. Well, what? Oh. Well, I guess there should be, right? Yeah. This is how Romans would know something's a question mark, but we get double indicators that it's a question mark. Do you discern, and not just do you discern, do you umquam discern? So we're glossing umquam, people? Yeah, ever. Brayden, you don't want to gloss anything? You just want to look at your calculator? I almost called it a computer. Huh? You do what?
Refill.
Yeah. Like Adrian, he's asleep. But like that's a personal choice. Brayden, he's gonna write down the words that we encounter. Whereas Adrian just kind of accepts not knowing these beautiful ancient words. Do you ever discern omnia? What does omnia mean, anyone? Yeah, all or every. So okay, I'm not quite sure where this is going. But omnis omnia is like all or every depending. Sometimes you can tell it's like every one, and you can add the one to make it clear that it's about people. But this is weird now. Do you ever discern like maybe everything? Because I'm just like thinking generally here, and it does have a neuter. Well, no, I guess it can be neuter or masculine, but it is neuter here, so maybe it's everything. Which or who? Probably which, because this is a relative clause for omnia. Yeah, the 1.5 class, they just got to relative clauses. It's super exciting because that's when I started liking Latin. So y'all did that like over a month ago. Do you ever discern everything which tibi scienda sunt? So, scienda sunt. This is not an ablative absolute. It's our, anyone? It's our other crazy sounding thing in this chapter. When I see this NG, I think of a gerundive, but then there's a form of sum essa, so it's not just a future passive participle / gerundive. It is a passive periphrastic. So what's the big thing with the passive periphrastic? It's a sense of obligation. And this one's just present tense, so we can use the helping verb that starts with an M. Yeah, which must be, skio skire is to know, which must be known, tibi. By you, good. That is our dative of agent. Yeah. So do you ever discern everything which must be known by you? Sorry, that looks weird, but yeah. So that is a passive periphrastic inside of a relative clause, which is beautiful. You love that. The main clause is just do you ever discern everything? And it's like, what do you mean everything? Oh, the everything which must be known by you all the time. And so yeah, that's a cool combination. I like that. And tibi there is our dative of agent. Okay, but it feels like an ablative agent. So if you're comfortable with that, then it's fine. Erimusne, guys. Sumus is we are. Erimus is the future version of that. So it's not we are, it's we. Make it future. I know y'all all know how to make something future. Yeah, but something weird. Y'all don't have this problem, but I've noticed something really crazy this year with I think my 7th graders. I'll be like, what helping verb do we use to make something future tense? And they like won't all immediately say will, and it shakes me to my core. I'm like, isn't that really like common sense, like clear? Or sometimes I'll be like, what helping verb do we use to make something past tense? And someone will say will, and I'm like, are you like, what's wrong with you? Like, what are you like? Are you good? Will is obviously like that's not even a Latin thing. That's like a 5-year-old that's been speaking English for 3 years kind of thing. Okay, anyway, so will we, because it's first plural, but it's easy to spot. If you don't know that this is the future tense version of sumus, that's just because sum essa is like horrible to keep track of, or it's like very easy to forget the future tense version. But will we unquam? And yeah, it's not just will. It's like it's usually will be. So will we ever be Felices? Will we ever be Felicia? Or will we not be Felicia? Camulus Felix? Yeah, will we ever be lucky? Do y'all remember what ultra means? Beyond, good, so y'all mostly know that. Beyond Fines Italiae? Beyond the what? Sorry. Yeah, beyond the boundaries of Italy. Yeah, so finis can just be like limit or end, but fines plural is more like boundary. I'll put limit, but yeah, plural is more like boundary or territory. But then the viventes. What is viventes? What kind of participle is that? From vivo vivere. It's not perfect passive. That'd be yeah. For vivo vivere, what is it? Vivo vivere vixi victa. So it'd be like victa. So like, and what would that even be? Lived, having lived. But this is present active, so it's living beyond the limits of Italy. Yeah. So that's not any of our new grammar, but it's a good chapter 23 sentence just to kind of be like, yep, that's a present active participle. It's not an ablative absolute or anything like that, but living beyond the boundaries. And it has the plural third declension ending because it's like going with the we, which is plural. So X? That means X. You know that. No, it's cool. Last class, I don't know. Vocab is horrible with an A. Because it's like, I can't really teach it in the same way I can teach grammar. I wish y'all could like download the words. and like my job was just to help you with like the translation and the grammar, and y'all could just kind of like download these into your brain like the Matrix. Because last class there were some words where I was like, "What is this word, class?" And like it was just crickets, and that always throws me off. Yeah. Well, y'all don't seem to.
We all had ADHD last year.
I noticed that with y'all in the fall. I was worried about y'all's vocab level in the fall, but I think kind of going back through has helped y'all a lot. And now it's just 1.5 kids who are at a disadvantage, but also who are being very impressive on y'all's tests recently. I want to say 1.5 people, former 1.5. Something about uncertain rabuses. Ooh, okay. This is a longer something. What are we looking at? These first 4 words. Nunk just means now. Yeah, well, yeah, it's an adlative absolute. Okay, how do I know that? Well, these could be dative, but they could also be ablative. And then when I see this guy, I'm like, okay, that's a perfect passive participle of a word that means to understand. So it's like with rebus and caritis nunc, intellectista. Yeah. So with uncertain, what is rebus, y'all? It's a very general noun. So a general noun in probably any language. Huh? Yeah, things. It can also be like affairs or matters. But with uncertain things, now having been, which is a giveaway, huh? Understood, yeah. With these uncertain things now being understood. I'm sorry, this is what we're living with now, but I guess I'll read past my gloss words, which I know y'all were all writing down, especially Braden, who's just back on his calculator. Guys, don't do things like that when you're in the frontish row. You need to be like behind somebody, hidden in the back, to just completely ignore a teacher repeatedly. Okay, so what about with these uncertain things now being understood? Yeah, how do y'all feel about that? Do you feel like you'd be able to derive that by yourself eventually, at least?
Yeah.
Because that vocab is pretty clear, right? Uncertain things now. This is from Intelligo to Allegro. What about it? We assuma, so it's we. Think of a blank of soda.
Can.
We can. What does it look like it is? Except we can accept blank and blank. These are 2 new vocab words I'll put on the test on Friday. But we can accept refuge and like relief or refuge or relief or shelter. Solacium is like shelter or refuge. Wait, no. Okay, perfugium is refuge or shelter. Solacium is comfort or relief. They feel synonymous kind of. What is this? Was probably what, the 4th, 5th? Let's do 2 or 3 more. You can do this. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a good example of something we need to see, and it has some words that we've seen already today. Teneo, teneri, I'm going to write out because I feel like you don't know that it's just a stronger version of habeo. Tenui is the perfect sim. It means to like keep or hold instead of just like to have, but it can honestly still mean to have. Okay. So what am I seeing these first 4 words? I'm loving it. It's with the Aequis weary tenentibusing and the Imperium. So what do I see? I see something that could be 2 ablative endings, ablative plural endings, and then I see another ablative, what could be an ablative ending if they're not all dative for some reason. On tenentibus, is tenentibus Chloe or Ailey or Luke or Avery? Is that perfect passive or present active? Prudence? Alex? Is tenentibus present active or perfect passive? It's present active, yeah. If I see that NT, it's present active. Think of the NT in the actual word present. Whereas perfect passive doesn't have anything that really indicates much. It should look like a verb with like an adjective / noun ending. But especially if you see something that's like from a verb and has a 3rd declension ending, that's present active. You don't even need to see that NT. Just know that present active is the only one that gets a 3rd declension endings. The other 3 types of participles get 1st and 2nd declension endings. So anyway, with the like calm men, maybe calm would be good here. With the calm men, what? Tenentibus. Present active. Yeah, holding Imperium. Yeah, holding the command. So I just want to point out especially that it's like The noun, you can almost think of this as like the subject of the ablative. It's not actually because it's like ablative. But it's like with the ablative, and then when the ablative has a present active participle, it's going to be with the ablative verbing, there could be a direct object. That's what I want to point out, is that usually you're just going to see a bunch of ablatives in your ablative absolute, but if the participle is present active, it could have an accusative direct object, which it does here. And then I guess I gave the rest away. Ut omnes decant is weird. Just as everyone says, with common holding the command, the republic will be strong. Valebit is future tense of our favorite verb, valeo valeri, which we used to say goodbye while later. So now what, two more? Two more. We're just on a roll. All keyways? What's keyway? All citizens, every citizen. All is better. Temebont. It's the opposite of tereo, tereri. Tereo, tereri is to. So temeo is to be afraid. So all citizens fear or were fearing? Yeah, it goes imperfect. Were fearing or feared. Istum imperatorum? Wait. Why imperatorum? Why not just like oh. Imperator, imperatorus. Weird. No. That is genitive like I thought. Why is it genitive? We're fearing that thing of the commanders? I'm going to click through. Who expellandus erat? What would that be? Expello means to literally expel or like banish. Who expellendus erat? Passive periphrastic. So if it was expellendus est, it'd be who must be expellendused. But how do we make it past tense? Like who had to be expelled. Had to be expelled. Yeah, that's what it would be. But what I also did is we're fearing that emperor who had been, I capitalized been because I probably showed this to the 9A class first, and there's a Ben in there, so I was making a weird joke. But what is that imperator? Unless I made a typo, now we have to find out if I did. But I'm saying imperatorum is accusative there, but I don't think it is. It'd be imperator, imperatoris. He's third declension, right? So he'd have the EM ending. Okay, let me see. And then we're basically done. Are these extracutationes? Oh, no, these are, yeah, these are. So, Imperium. Oh, these must be lectiones now. So I can't find it. I don't know what that's about. That's weird. It'd be like that thing of the commanders, which sounds so weird. Last one, Tirano Superato. What? Yeah. And what's this one? Tirano Superato. With the, would a supera superare mean anyone to overcome? With the, so do the noun first. With the tyranno, with the tyrant. Yeah, you could say with the tyrant overcome. That sounds a little strange, so you might want to say with the tyrant having been overcome. Okay? With the tyrant having been overcome. I think we want to use having been most of the time when we have a perfect actor. This is perfect actor. If it was present actor, that'd be like superantis or superantibus rather, like with maybe the tyrant overcoming or something. But with the tyrant overcome. So when it's perfect passive, the verb is happening to whatever the ablative noun is. In this case, huh? I totally can. Thank you for asking. With the tyrant overcome, citizens and even servants, re caperunt libertatem et iura. So this is from our new Recipio word. Yeah. Will receive freedom and what did you say this was? Just yeah, it's basically like laws or rights. So either way. Lucy knows her vocab. Superare, superavi, to overcome. I mean, super by itself is a preposition in Latin. Actually, literally means over. Yeah. So like, it's almost like to be over. Sorry, the vocab is extra bad looking now. But yeah, so Cerves are newer for means servant, slave, liberty, and both of these are direct objects. I'll click through. I said liberty and justice too. Okay. Y'all can take a whopping 10 minutes to do vocab. I mean, homework. That's too much time. So y'all better do it. Just do it. Like, actually do it. Don't be like, oh, I'll do an essay. So now you can call me over. That's very idyllic, very Norman Rockwell, the idea of like calling me over to be like, I need help on this. And then I'll help you. That'll be great. Yeah? Look, I got more. But we'll stop. We'll stop.